on the chapter Heredity and Evolution, Science 2, Class 10th, Maharashtra State Board. After I read out a question, I will wait for 8 seconds so that you can come up with an answer. So let's start the quiz. Which pioneer of modern genetics is credited with first establishing the conclusions of research about heredity? The correct answer is Gregor John Mendel. During the process of transcription, which nitrogenous base is used in mRNA as a complement to adenine on the DNA strand? The correct answer is uracil. Uracil replaces thymine as complementary base to adenine. Next question. What is the specific term used for the sequence of three nucleotides on mRNA that codes for a single amino acid? Sequence of three nucleotides. The correct answer is triplet codon. Each amino acid is represented by a specific three nucleotide sequence within the mRNA strand. Dr. Hargovind Khurana was awarded the Nobel Prize for his contribution to the discovery of triplet codons for how many amino acids? Correct answer is 20 amino acids. His research was instrumental in identifying the specific triplet sequences for all 20 standard amino acids used in protein synthesis. Which process involves the ribosome moving from one end of the mRNA to the other by the distance of exactly one triplet codon? Because there is movement involved, we can say it is location. So the correct answer will be translocation. The specific movement allows the ribosome to read the next codon in the sequence during protein synthesis. Which of the following is cited as a minor change resulting from the replacement of a single nucleotide in a gene? Minor change. Answer is mutation. A change in even a single nucleotide position can alter the genetic information, a phenomenon known as mutation. Life on Earth is estimated to have begun with simple elements and organic compounds approximately how many years ago? The correct answer is 3.5 billion years. Life was not non-existent before this time and began forming through the gradual combination of organic and inorganic compounds. The similarity in the structure of bones and joints in the human hand and the flipper of whale is considered evidence for evolution of what type? Anatomical evidences. Internal structural similarities despite different external functions suggest a common ancestry. Which organ in the human body is mentioned as being vestigial but remains fully functional in ruminants? The correct answer is appendix. Carbon dating is based on measuring the continuously changing ratio between which two isotopes after the death of an organism. The correct answer is C14 and C12. After death, C14 decays radioactively while the amount of non-radioactive C12 remains constant, creating a measurable ratio. Which organism is identified as a connecting link between Annelida and Arthropoda due to its segmented body and parapodia-like organs? Peripatus. It exhibits characteristics of both phyla, such as thin cuticle and tracheal respiration. According to the embryological evidence, when are the similarities between different vertebrate embryos most extreme? During the initial stages. Similarities are strongest at the start of development and gradually decrease as the embryos grow. What are one of the main objections raised against Charles Darwin's theory of natural selection? The answer is C. He did not explain the difference between useful and useless modifications. Lamarckism proposes that the morphological changes in organisms are responsible for evolution, and the cause behind these changes is activities or laziness of the organism. Lamarck suggested that the use or disuse of organs based on an organism's lifestyle led to heritable physical changes. Which human ancestor is the first record of human-like animal found in North India and East Africa? Ramapithecus. The ape from about 1 crore years ago as the first record of a human-like creature. Approximately how many years ago did the wise man Homo sapiens begin to practice agriculture? 10,000 years ago. Humans began rearing cattle and establishing settled civilizations. What is the primary factor that leads to the formation of new species from earlier ones according to speciation? Formation of new species from earlier ones. Genetic variation. Genetic variation is responsible for the formation of new species along with geographical and reproductive changes. The discovery of fire is associated with which stage of human brain development? Discovery of fire. The upright man. Which scientist proposed the model for the process of protein synthesis with the help of DNA in bacterial cells in 1961? Francois Jacob and Jacques Monod. These French geneticists provided the model that helped uncover genetic codes and led to the development of recombinant DNA technology. What happens to the process of carbon consumption in plants and animals after they die? It stops immediately. Consumption ceases at death, leaving only the decaying process of C14 to continue. The concept of central dogma refers to the synthesis of proteins by DNA through which intermediate molecule. The correct answer is RNA. Proteins are synthesized by DNA through RNA. In the context of evolution, what does the term organizational process refer to? The overall process of evolution leading to diverse types of organisms, different types of organisms. Evolution as an organizational process involving multidimensional changes over 300 crore years. Which era in the geological time scale is associated with the presence of invertebrates according to the sedimentary rock diagram? It is Paleozoic era. The survival of the fittest is a principle most closely associated with which scientific work? Origin of species. Charles Darwin published this book to explain his theory of natural selection and the concept of survival of the fittest. What is the primary reason why vestigial organs take thousands of years to disappear? Why don't the vestigial organs simply disappear if there is no use to the organism? Because sudden development of new tissues is not possible in a changing environment. According to human evolution timeline, which ancestor had a brain capacity that allowed them to be considered the first example of wise man? Correct answer is Neanderthal man. Neanderthal man. It was the first example of wise man Homo sapiens category. Which of these is not listed as a morphological evidence for evolution in animals? Morphological characters means external characters. Bone structure in limbs is an anatomical evidence, not a morphological evidence. The mutational theory used to understand sudden genetic changes was proposed by which scientist? Mutational theory. Correct answer is Yogesh. He proposed the theory in 1901. Which of the following is an example of an anatomical similarity that suggests a common ancestor? Anatomical similarity. Patagium of a bat and the foreleg of an ox. Despite their different uses, that is flying versus walking, their internal bone structures show significant similarities. What happened to the tail of the monkey-like ancestors of humans in Africa approximately 4 crore years ago? Correct answer is it is said to have disappeared. Their tails disappeared, leading towards the development of ape-like animals. So that's all in this quiz, friends. Thank you.